specific contaminants that are dangerous to the environment and public health that are coming through that leachate?
PFAS. We have documented samples from DES that the PFAS levels are high coming out of there. Right now, we don't have any limits in our permit for PFAS, but we're required to monitor it. I can tell you that everything we're required to monitor in this permit will probably have a limit in the next permit, and that's gonna be an issue. Arsenic levels are high. Because the agreement that was signed in 2007 between the city of Berlin and DES, there were specific items that they were to sample for annually at a level of milligrams per liter, which is parts per million. 17 years later, 18 years later, those constituents are sampled in parts per billion and parts per trillion. But in our agreement, they're not required to do that, so all of their numbers say less than detectable limit, less than detectable limit. If we had the ability to change that, and ask them to sample at a lower level, we would actually have numbers that we could look at. But just so you know, I'm backpedaling a little bit here. The agreement was established in July, it was signed in July of 2007. There was a pool of money to do the maintenance. In 2019, DES called me and said that they had run out of money and were wondering if we would take over the landfill. And I told them that the city was not interested in owning them because we don't want the liability. They asked if we could if they could renegotiate the agreement, and I told them that we weren't interested in that because the agreement has us just treating the leachate. It has them taking care of all the maintenance, all the finances around the state. Everything is their responsibility. So that being said, I'm sitting here saying that if we could get them to sample at a lower level and get some real numbers, it's gonna be a catch-22 if we open that agreement up with them, because they're gonna want an expiration date on it, and they're gonna want the city to start taking on some of the responsibility. So it's gonna be a really touchy situation when you start saying you want them to renegotiate the agreement. We really don't want to. We really want to maintain the agreement that we have, so. And DES audited me and said that the city of Berlin does not have industrial discharge permits that are required by 40 CFR. Code of Federal Regulations. That's what EPA has their teeth. That's what gives them the ability to create these statutes. They told us we needed to change all of our agreements to permits, because these agreements are just gentlemen's agreements with handshakes and would have no teeth. But when I tried to write them a permit, they told me I can't write them a permit because they don't own it. Nobody owns it. So I can't write a permit. We have no enforcement against what's going on there. We will not have enforcement against what's going on there until there's a new owner at that facility. So it's a situation where the city's in a bad spot here, because we know we need mitigation there, but we don't have the teeth to make it happen until there's an owner.
So
If I could add,